Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Live here, and I am joined with Zelixor.
Heyo.
And welcome back to another Park Spotlight Contest Edition video. In today's video, we're going to be showing off 30 parks, roughly 20 minutes with this intro. 20 minutes. So to give everybody a quick refresher on how this works, we have another video like this, so I'll put a link down in the description, which had like an 8-minute introduction explaining everything. But to just hit over some of those points, we had 220 contest submissions for this contest. We did qualifiers, so we had a judges panel who pre-screened and picked the best of the best, and those ones made it to the judges panel, which the viewers got to judge the creations. Now, all the ones that did not qualify, we showed off 30 of them in a different video, and now we're showing 30 off in this video from the builder bracket, a handful from the advanced and experts. So there's some that didn't quite make the cut, and we still feel like they deserved some sort of feedback or a spotlight, something we don't really necessarily have to do, but we want to do it because we've never had to do a qualifiers round in a contest before, because we usually have enough that we can feature them all, but this was just way too many. So in this video, Zell is going to give me 30 seconds to try to provide the creator with as much feedback as possible. The point is not to rag on the creation or get you down about your creation. I can't spend the 30 seconds complimenting your creation, because then you would say, well, if it's that good, why didn't I get featured? And the point of this is to give you that critical feedback, so you could draw some comparisons to what you can improve on next time, or what you could have done to get qualified. Does that make sense, Zell?
Yep.
Okay, good. So it sounds like we're ready to go, so stay tuned, and we'll get right on into it.
This is a Rega Landia created by Planko Bro.
Okay, for me, it's feeling a little bit unfinished in terms of like the path work and bringing it all together. Looks like we have a bit of a fantasy vibe going, but the castles need a little bit more complexity. The main entrance is feeling a little bit flat, a little bit boxy. Same with the big main castle at the back. It's a little bit repetitive. I would definitely push and research some castles, get those like the undulation and the different variety of pieces going off on the castles, and your path work definitely needs a little bit of help. Whoa, that was quick. And Coaster needs a little bit more polish too. It looks a little bit short.
This is Sherwood Forest created by Mystic Bacon Guy. Start.
Okay, I mean, I want to start off by definitely complimenting the lighting. The lighting definitely looks good, but the actual park itself looks a little bit, the theme park is like getting swallowed by the forest, and there's a little bit of disjointed cohesion between the layout. Like, we have a little bit of stuff over here, a little bit of stuff over there, but the rest is all forest. We got a couple huts there. The coaster's taking a lot of that layout out, and actually Coaster is looking like it needs to be a little bit more dynamic, especially for an RMC. Could use a lot more RMC elements. Holy crap, this goes quick.
This is Sengoku created by Ben Noah Kaiserwolf. Start.
Okay, I mean, you definitely filled the area. However, the main attraction itself, the coaster, it's missing a lot of coaster elements. It's very flat. It could definitely use some work. The ride skins, we asked for skins on the rides. These are completely missing the skins, so you got to follow the rules there. And a lot of the buildings that you use are actually repetitive. They're reused everywhere. These ones, you know, you recolored them, but they're still very samey throughout. So in terms of your shops, we asked for, you know, elaborate shop skins as well, and they don't look quite unique enough. So all of the main elements that we asked from the contest aren't quite taken to specifications.
This is Langford Faith created by Yoshio. Start.
Okay, I mean, your theme, you're going with this gothic theme. I think the theme actually ends up feeling a little bit more circusy. With that said, I think the layout of the park actually needs a lot of help. We have this main strip here, and that's the park area. You get points because you did try to skin your rides. You got 2 of them in, and you got 2 coasters, but the coasters are feeling tucked off to the side and unthemed. They're just colored red and blue. This one goes through rocks a little bit. I think your hero here is going to be the Tower of Terror, which it looks like there is one. So I think if you would have stuck with the consistency of the spooky vibe and spread out your park a little bit, it would have been much more successful. But not a bad job.
This is Potterland created by Lewis Start.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tough one because it's almost there. I think, you know, the coaster actually doesn't look too bad. It could use a little bit more extreme elements, but it's a pretty chill coaster. You have some actually pretty nice theming over here. I think where it suffers is kind of like the lighting. Everything's like, and like the colors of your buildings, everything's looking a little bit monotone, and the pathwork is a little bit bland. It's just kind of squiggly paths. It doesn't have a lot of integration and unique design in the layout of the park. The park is like all right here at the main plaza, and you could have utilized your park space a little bit better. But I think these buildings are actually quite fun, and they do show advanced level quality. So you're almost there, and I'd say this one is really close. So definitely keep up the effort, and you'll probably get qualified next time.
This is the crash site created by Open Circle Fleet. Go.
I think the idea is fun. We got a crater in the middle, but what is it? Something down here? No, nothing down here. That's the park entrance. Maybe they're coming from the crater. I don't know. The space, we have a big box in the corner. It's leaving a little bit to be desired. That's your ride skin. It's taking up a huge portion of your park. I think that's the space isn't being utilized very well. Even this coaster kind of taking up a lot of space, but there's not any theming done here. It's very boxy looking, and same. Yeah, I would say that applies to all your kind of your boarding stations. It's very flat looking, and I think you need to take that build to the next level and really push your theming for all of your entrances. Okay.
This is Himalaya, created by LEG Doodle 19.
Doodle! Okay, this actually looks pretty. I mean, I like it. We have some ambient sounds. It's got a nice whimsical feel to it. However, it leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of actual park. We got a few shops here, park entrance, and a coaster. I feel like you could have crammed in a lot more into this giant space that we gave you. But the coaster looks pretty fun. It's not too bad, but it is eating up a lot of your park. In terms of your park, we go down here and we're done. So I think you could have pushed a little bit more.
This is McDonaldland, created by My Cycles. Go.
Okay, this one I really appreciate the effort. I mean, you got these McDonald's hamburger patties made out of terrain, same with the cups. That would have taken a while. I'd like the effort there. Now, in terms of your actual theme park, we have little burger guys, a burger garden. It's playful, it's fun. I like the French fry stuff, the characters. You've got a lot of elements that are fun. McDonald's fun. But I think as a theme park, it's not really screaming to me. I think you could really push the elevation, the buildings, and just really jam-pack that. And think of like a Dr. Zeus or White Cider creation where it's just jam-packed full of McDonald's happiness everywhere. I think your elements are sprinkled about, but they're not prominent enough to like take you in and go, this is McDonald's theme park. They're just kind of there.
This is Der Kristallsee, created by All of Jazz. Go.
All of Jazz. Okay, I think your main park area, which is this, it serves that same issue where we walk to the end of this and we're kind of done, but you've put this gigantic mountain with the ride. It's more of a coaster spotlight. I think these buildings could be pushed a lot further. They're looking pretty good, but they're just color changed. They're very samey. I think there's needs to be a little bit more signage and shoppage and all that fun stuff out front. And you need to just really push your theming, and especially with this big pathwork plaza way, you should have some planters and things separating it. Took a peek inside. It looks pretty fun, and I like these coasters when they flip upside down and stuff. We have one at the top of the lift. So for this one, I want to ride the coaster because I did say it's more of a coaster spotlight after all, and I just want to check it out because that looks like where you put all your effort in. We're gonna swing upside down. That's cool. For a little bit there. That's cool. I think what you could have done, especially here, coming back, I would have done the support hanging thing. It's hanging all the way, and then it flips over right into the station. But yeah, not a bad coaster. But I think your park just needs a little bit more exploration. That's all.
This is Arabian Adventure, created by Kizzy B. Start.
I mean, this one looks pretty good in terms of the layout and stuff. I like this whole sand dune vibe you got going on here. I think the main part that stood out to us is that the coasters need a little bit more work. all three of them kind of are missing the elements and the smoothing that makes them exciting. And they're not really like, they're kind of floating above the whole park. Other than this one actually having its own theming, which it really doesn't have a lot of theming. It's just dugout holes and the rocks, but it's kind of kept off into its own sand dune thing. I think they need to be kind of personalized coasters. And then again, with the path work, it feels a little bit under decorated around the sides. So, I mean, this one's pretty close though. You could definitely use skins on your rides as well. That's missing for sure. Okay.
This is Wild Old West, created by Rollercoaster Drops.
Okay, I gotta say from the top down, some of these Western buildings look pretty good. That's a nice facade. They look great, and I think you just needed to take that throughout the entire theme park, or make a theme park. It's very, very small section of the park, again with this one immersive lane, and that's the park. We need to see a little bit more sprawling features. This coaster's taking up a lot of space, not for any good reason, you know? That's over half the park space, and it's just kind of doing an S shape there. I think you could really push your layout more, but your buildings are great. I think if you just kept on pushing the Western theme, whereas the skin flat rides need to be a lot more apparent. I think if you just kept on pushing what you had, you would have made it for sure.
And some terrain elevation.
For sure.
That would help you a lot. This is Loam Creek, created by Flightstorm. Start.
Yeah, I mean, same issues, some of the others that we mentioned, just not utilizing that space enough. We have a few buildings here as your Western. When I think of a Western town, I think a lot more busyness, right? And it's not looking very busy with just the 5 buildings here and a train station that's not interactive. I mean, there's some decent elements going on here. If we go inside the mountain, I think this is definitely your selling point. And the actual ride itself looks like it could be pretty cool. Actually, it looks like it could use a little bit of smoothing and help in there. But I think there's ways to dress up this rock work outside, like layer buildings have pathways, you know, stack the building and build on top of that. If I would have opened this up and saw a whole Western town stacked to the top of this mountain and then a bustling city down below, that would have grabbed my attention.
This is Blue Point Amusements, created by Crane Snake. Start.
Okay, you're going for this kind of overgrown, old, like it's been sitting here for a while theme park, and I like that concept. But the problem is the actual fairground, the actual theme park, doesn't feel very theme parky. It doesn't have, I mean, it has like the Ferris wheel, it has a couple rides, but I just feel like it needs more. And then looking at your river rapids, I mean, that's just, well, it's not a river rapids, it's, what's that? Dark ride? It's just a square that goes around the whole, I don't even know why you would put that there. I guess it takes you around the park, you get a view of it all, but I think that needs to be more heavily themed. It has to have a little bit more interaction. I do think some of like the elements are there, but you need to push that theme park and make it feel like a theme park and then overgrow it. Are we done?
Yeah. This is Goat Mountain, created by Bullet Jump 06. Start.
It's bad. No, I'm kidding. That's a bad joke. This is interesting. Yeah, it's suffering from the same issues. We're seeing a repeating problem. One main strip, and that's your park. The rest is queues. That's just not enough explorable area. The rest, the coaster goes around the whole park from there, and it's not really utilizing that space either. Kind of just doing that. You need to push your coaster more and more and more. We've seen some people make it into the finalists that did these kind of exploration coasters that took out a majority of the park, but they did so much more with it. That main strip is just not enough for a theme park, unfortunately.
This is Anchor Lagoon, created by Yoshisa Ninja. Start.
Okay, I like a lot of the concepts going on here. Like the terraforming actually looks good and has a pleasant look to it when you open it up. You utilize your park space where you're actually bringing the guests around, but the paths themselves just have repeating bushes all the way across. I think you could do a lot more theming there than just the bushes. And if you're gonna do these like bridges across from area to area, I think you need to build your own custom bridges and, you know, pirate them up and make them really Caribbean and do some fun stuff around that. Yeah, I think the theming definitely needs to be taken up a lot because it's just the bushes in between.
This is The Road, created by Geopinto 100. Start.
It's funny because we talk about the main strip just being a strip and not being enough at a few of these parks, and this has done that to the literal extreme where it's just one main road. And I think that concept could work if there were enough branching things coming off of that, but unfortunately this side of the park is not really used. This side of the park is not really used, so you're just, you know, it's more of a coaster spotlight and a boomerang at that, and that boomerang does look pretty extreme. It's going through there at blitzing speeds, but then, you know, ride skin, very repetitive. We're talking about advanced quality, not repeating stuff. I don't think a ring on that is just enough, and you know, the road just needs more road work, more stuff off the sides, not just 2 gas stations.
This is Gran Paradios Resort, created by Flux Capacitor 3000. Start.
Okay, this one's a little bit tough for me because I do like certain elements. I like the resort entrance here. That's looking really sharp. Going forward, I think it's getting a little bit claustrophobic, and the buildings are lacking in detail, that advanced quality detail for sure in certain areas. They're feeling a little bit unthemed, even though you built up the structure, you forgot to add in all the little details. Even the Horror Heights itself, it's a little bit plain in here. It doesn't really feel like a mansion. That's hilarious. But there could be a lot more theming here, and I like what you did with the window here for sure. But the coaster looks a little bit crazy and extreme, and I think that could be fun. I like the idea of the go-karts going through it all, but it's not really that decorative throughout the go-karts. So I think your base structure's there. You just got to keep layering on and getting those details, because things are feeling a little bit unpolished at this point.
This is Nivel, created by Sad Panda.
Okay.
Start.
This is a tough one because there are a lot of good things here, like a lot of really good things. It's inspired by Ori, and we have a lot of fun characters in the entrance, and those elements are looking really good. I think the screenshots didn't really do it for us when we were trying to vote. We were going back and forth. In terms of your park utilization, that tree is really eating up, I'd say like 80% of your park, and you can't interact with it, right? So your rides are kind of off to the side. They are themed. You have some pretty good elements going here, but the coasters, that's your main attraction. I just don't think there's enough here for an adventure. Now, I do want to take a second to show this off at nighttime because it's looking pretty good. So, I mean, between the characters and what you have going on with all these little guys thrown about, I think it's really, really a strong effort, and I'm having a difficult time with this one because there's not a whole lot of feedback to give you, but at the same time, other than this one coaster and these 2 rides on the side, I don't feel like we're doing much other than going around the tree. I think there could be more to the park than there is currently, but I mean, it's almost there. Yeah, it's almost there.
This is a China Valley, created by Play Koala. Start.
Okay, yeah, this is one that you got to sell it to us in the screenshots, because there are elements that I really like. This water park is literally phenomenal, and we saw that and we're like, okay, that's a selling feature. But then we see all these repetitive trees and go, where's the park, right? Most of the park is all these trees. We have this little bit of a path going through. The coaster looks pretty good. There's like some nice elements to it. It stands out. And now that I look closer and see the dark ride, I see certain elements of this dark ride being quite nice. Oh, looks like there's a ride in here. Where was it? So the boarding station for this dark ride is actually really good. Now, in your screenshots, when you're selling it to us that we pre-screen, and we did ask for the best screenshots possible, there's certain elements of this dark ride that weren't captured. So, you know, and what we did see was a lot of the repetitive trees that we said, you know, that you got to switch it up. It's a little bit unfortunate because I do think that dark ride would probably be a good ride spotlight, or the coaster being a fun coaster spotlight, and you did do some really cool elements here. I think you got to work on your exterior layout and sell your screenshots in the future, and I think you're almost there.
This is the Knight's Realms, created by Fate. Start.
Okay. Castles are always a tricky thing to do. You have a couple castle towers there, an incomplete castle over here. I think you tried to do the aesthetics of making it appear like you're going through an interior, but it doesn't really quite make sense. I would have actually just tried to make a strong presence of a castle, because it's feeling a little bit like destroyed or incomplete. There's something work in progress looking going on here. You could definitely push the ride skins a little bit further, as well as the queue work. And then the main plaza is it's a little bit crazy, and that's a
lot of people.
That's a lot of people, yeah. But it could use a little bit more decoration in there. So, I mean, it is a fantasy vibe. I think what you need is village, crops, you know, like a little farm section, big castle in the background, cascading village, and try to get some research. Look at games like Witcher, try to take inspiration from other games, because it's feeling a little bit disjointed, if that's the best word I could use to describe it.
And the trees
Yeah, you gotta switch. Yeah, the repetitive trees. That's it. That's probably the first thing I should have pointed out.
Even though you might think it's not repetitive because you put 5 different trees in there, also that could be repetitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Lots of trees.
Yeah. Valhalla Park, created by As You Were. Start.
Okay, as a Viking Valhalla theme, big fan of the Vikings myself. I think you really got to push these Viking buildings. They're not feeling. I mean, there's a little tippity top. I guess you tried there, but they're not feeling very Viking. I think there needs to be a lot more research gone into the Viking theme itself. You have Caribbean pieces used in there, mixed in, and rides are not skinned, and coaster doesn't have any theming. For Valhalla, I would expect there to be, you know, that bustling, heavy Viking, some Viking ships. You know, just do a little bit more research on your theme in the future.
This is the Devil's Roar, created by Weasel Buddy. 3, 2, 1, start.
Weasel Buddy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this has a cool concept. I like the concept for sure. The depth in here. Unfortunately, I feel like you're not utilizing that depth. We can't really go down there and explore. We can go inside the mountain a bit from the looks of things. It's a little bit claustrophobic. A lava river rapids. Well, that's actually pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I've been asking for a lava river rapids for forever, so you got me there. Oh my gosh, we gotta give this a quick rip around. And that might be another thing where you didn't sell it to us in the screenshots, right? I had no idea that there was a lava river rapids in here. You got to add some of these elements to your screenshots, but that's freaking awesome. So love that for an experience. The coaster looks pretty gnarly too, but the actual park itself, the explorable area, I feel like it's lacking a little bit, right? And that's what we saw in the screenshots. We kind of decided against it. We didn't open it up and see like this lot of theme park with rides, this main central area going back here, and then that was it. So I think you got to improve on your screenshots for next time and sell it to us and let us know what's in the park to make us to go take a closer look. But I still think some of these elements that you have going here, it could be pushed a lot further. I would like to see some scaffold down the sides and some buildings built in there and a little bit more explorable area on the exterior and going on into the inside as well. But I think you're almost there, Weasel Buddy, and a really good job on the river rapids. I love that.
Okay, we've just finished the builder bracket and we now go into the advanced bracket. This is Tortuga Castle theme park, created by Hottie82. Start.
Yeah, this is another tough one. I think it barely made it past, or didn't make it past the pre-judges in terms of making it to the full feature, but I think it's almost there for sure. And it's a little bit of an unorganized chaos, but I've seen unorganized chaos work in the past. It's just when you do unorganized chaos, you gotta find ways to make your pathing look really sharp and bustling and fill up those areas in between. There's just a little bit left to be desired in terms of some of the areas that are feeling a little bit plain. While there are buildings that are looking good, there are certain areas that are looking good. You just have to push that decoration a little bit further and you know, wow the pre-judges in order to make it to the full feature. But I think this one's definitely almost there.
This is Dew Point Pier, created by Knight Rider. Start.
Okay, I gotta say this actually took 10 minutes to load, the longest park in the entire contest to load, even longer than any of the legends. And there was something like 7,000 theme maker toolkit items used. That's why it took so long to load. That's definitely what the hitting point here is. If you know, we allowed you to use theme maker toolkit to accent your park, but when you're using that much heavily, then it's basically like your park is built for you. But when we load it up, I'm not seeing any of the theme maker toolkit from a bird's eye view here. It's just very curious to me, so I do want to take a quick peek around and figure out where, like, what? So it's used on some pictures and stuff?
It's old chairs, pictures, signs.
Oh, where are they? None of these buildings, you can't go in any of them. Okay, these?
Yeah, they're plushies.
Okay.
And then all the machines, the pinballs, the aquarium pieces. That's why it took forever to load.
I mean, that's cool, for sure. But that technically you didn't build yourself. I mean, we said you could use this stuff, so I'm not gonna be too harsh about it. The boardwalk. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this from a top-down view, you could obviously see it suffers the same issues as some of the other ones from, you know, the other brackets as well. You're not utilizing your space, like a huge parking lot taking up a lot of the space. and then you know, only 3 buildings really. 1, 2, 3,
and I
4.
expect on a pier, I don't know, to be bustling and be, you know, fun and crazy, and it's
yeah, look at other pier parks for sure.
There, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we had time for.
Okay.
This is a Midgard Norse Fantasy mini park created by Stuntman. Start.
Okay, yeah, this is another tough one because I actually like the designs of the coasters and the layout of the park with the elevation. I feel like this one had a little bit of arguing between the judges, and then we just couldn't come to a decision. So the main hitting points were some of the things weren't advanced quality. The skins weren't fully skinned. You know, it's missing certain of those elements. There's no, you know, there's not a lot going on there. The buildings need a lot more brush up and polish. And I think the build level is like not hitting the advanced level quality on the stations, the skins, and the buildings and shops. But then the elevation, the landscaping, and the way you integrated your coasters is good. So it's kind of half there and half not there, and it was one of those tough ones for us. So I think at this point you gotta wow us. You gotta make sure that we're, you know, yep, sending it through, no questions asked, no arguments, done. And I think it's almost there.
This is Luciana Isles, created by TB Karate. Start.
Okay, I think the main point of discussion for this one was certain things just didn't really make sense in terms of a theme. It's got sci-fi, it's, you know, going like fantasy, then we got tree forts, and then there's sci-fi again, and some unfinished buildings, you know. A lot of the stuff is a little bit confusing. I don't know if this is sci-fi or if this is, you know, I don't really know what's going on. And then again, going down to the pathwork and stuff, I feel like it's lacking around the outsides and the way you navigate the park. It's just a little bit confusing. I think you need to be a little bit more decisive about your theming and what's going on here, and then push those detail qualities.
This is Aquaterra, created by Mooney. Start.
I mean, at first glance, I mean, some people might argue that this one has some elements of realism, and it's actually quite good, and I wouldn't disagree with that. And but with that said, as a theme park contest and what we asked for, pushing you guys to the limit, for me, it's feeling flat. We have the repetitive trees all along the outside. You know, we do a circle around the park, and that's it. But while we're doing that circle, there's not a whole lot to look at. There's not a lot of viewpoints other than, you know, a little tower in the center. I mean, the coaster looks good, and you know, I think it works, but it's just not bustling enough. It's not thematic enough, and it doesn't really push things to the limit in terms of a contest, and our rides aren't even really skinned. So yeah, I just feel like it needs to be elevated more, personally.
This is Ultraviolet Utopia, created by Alex W147. Start.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
oh, so many different balls. Wow.
Big balls, small balls.
I mean, I don't even know what's happening here.
Wow.
It looks kind of fun and playful and kind of crazy, but then you can definitely have the argument that some of the buildings and things are unpolished. I mean, other than this one building here and this one here, that's I get three buildings, and the rest is just kind of like trees, boulders, and rocks. I don't know what the theme is. It's some sci-fi crazy thing. It's like, it's chaos. It's definitely chaos, and the whole park is just the freaking coasters. So I think in this one there's a bit of a discussion about like, what is this a theme park? It just looks like crazy madness, and as a theme park contest, I don't think it's like taking itself serious enough, personally. It looks fun though.
This is Camp Cerebus, created by MS Carmen 173.
MS Carmen. I mean, there's some really good elements here. Like, I like the buildings. I think you did some advanced quality work on the builds themselves. I just feel like there's not enough of it. I think we peaked at the ride here, the dark ride, and we go in and it feels like a work in progress. It's unfinished. I would definitely expect to see some animatronics in these hangars and something to go around. As a main attraction, it's a little bit underwhelming in terms of, you know, what you have here with a sci-fi theme and a crashed alien ship and blah, 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 blah. You could definitely do a lot with that stuff, and same with your path work. It's just like it's everywhere, but then it doesn't really serve a purpose, and there's no theming around it. So the buildings are great, the coaster looks pretty good, but the main attraction, the ride, is missing animatronics and theming. it just feels a little bit incomplete at this point.
I love the building in the middle, like you said. If you I really hope you can expand on this, because this looks great. So keep making something with that. Like make a cool coaster with it, or finish the mini park.
Yeah, you definitely have to finish certain elements and fill in that pathing as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Star Tours. The Adventure Continues by Skyvador, and we are in the expert bracket now.
Okay.
So
a very unusual one, because obviously this looks like a perfect recreation of the motion simulator ride from Disneyland Paris. Has some really good elements in there, but you know, the actual ride itself is a motion simulator. So if we actually go in and check out the main attraction, it goes around here into this box, and we watch a movie. That's the whole purpose of this entire creation. There's no flat rides, there's no main, that is the main attraction, but you just sit in front of a screen. And that's not really checking all the boxes. That's not the purpose of this contest. And I want to say you created Disneyland Paris recreation, which I believe I featured on the show, and that was back in 2018. Right? So either this could be ripped out of your current existing park, and that's not really the point of the contest. We're not supposed to use re-existing creations that we worked on. And if it's not, it still doesn't check the boxes, right? It doesn't check the boxes in terms of flat rides. Main attraction, you can't just park us in front of a screen like that. You can't do a motion simulator. It just doesn't do it justice. But as a recreation itself, looks like you nailed it. So I think hats off to you, and it deserves a bit of a mini feature for that, but I don't know whether it's breaking the rules or not at this point. And
for sure.
Okay.
It is.
All right. Moving on.
Yes, moving on. This is Octo Valley, created by CamX60. Start.
Okay, this is purely not making it through because they're an unranked builder or an unranked member. So you join Discord, you have to register, because if you do win the contest, we don't know which bracket to put you in. We can't put you in the builders, the new builders. We can't put you anywhere unless you register. We have to check your workshop, give you a rank, and that is your responsibility to do that. We get that every once in a while, and I figured I'd show off the creation anyways, just so people could see what this creator made. Normally we don't, we just move on, but it's a good lesson for anyone that's interested in these contests. You do have to register. You have to be a registered member to participate. And that's that. Okay.
This is Watertown, created by Will Burrito. Start.
Okay, same issue as the last one, unregistered members. So at this point, it doesn't really matter. This could have made it. This couldn't, you know. I look at it and I think it's pretty good. There's a lot of elements here that are nice. If you were in the beginner bracket, I'd say this is really good builds. The buildings look nice. Yeah, it's nice. Yep. I think there's some repetitive rocks, repetitive things, so things you have to watch out for and improve for next time. But you filled up your path work on left and right. Going down any of these paths is going to look pretty immersive. No skin on the ride there. River Rapids is a little bit too high peaking for me. It needs to be more integrated into the rock work and take you through a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's looking pretty darn good, but you are not a registered member, so we don't know where to put you, and figured we'd give you a mini feature. Do you have anything to add, Zell?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, this was all of them, I think.
Yep.
Right?
That's the last one.
Yeah, that's the last one.
So closing thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, what I've noticed a lot is that a lot of people submitted very, very early on. While the contest was still going in the first week, the second week, a lot of people submitted their creations.
Made a mini park in 1 week.
Yeah, and just take it as a lesson. If you do that and you're not a legend, probably is not going to work out too well.
We're giving you 2 months to build something, and we want you to take full advantage of that. And with as many people participating as possible, there are people who are actually taking that full months and still not getting a full feature, you know? And I feel really bad for everybody, and that's the reason why we did these rapid spotlights, to try to give you a little bit of feedback, but I'm also looking at the park. I'm rotating, we're peeking around. So you got 30 seconds of visual on your creation out to the thousands of people that are watching this video. So thousands of people still got to see all of your creations, everyone in the entire contest, all 220 submissions, which is absolutely absurd. And these videos take a lot longer than the previous coaster contests. This is a lot of work for us, and we're doing our best, but the qualifiers it has to be a thing going forward with contests that have more than 150 submissions. So maybe with the action coaster contest we'll only get 60, 70, I don't know. I'm predicting 70. I hear other people predicting less. So my chances are we might just feature them all, right? So this is one of those wacky ones where everyone was interested in building a park, and and unfortunately we had to come to the conclusion that we have to do qualifiers. But we also did mention that from now on we want advanced level quality, right? If you want to get on the show, you can't just half-ass it, phone it in, and be like, I made a thing, I participated, here you go. Because now I'm showing it to the viewers, and they're like, come on, that wasn't really that worthy of my time. I want to respect the viewers' times as well as my own time, right? So I want you to respect my time, and I want to respect the viewers' time. So they're the point of qualifiers. But in this case, I think there's a lot of good things that we showed off in today's video. Even though you didn't quite make a full feature, there's a few of them, a handful of them, even all of them that I would have liked to feature, and you know, some were definitely needed improvement. So I think there's a mixed bag here, but at the end of the day, there's going to be 140 park spotlights by the end of this contest. So I think we're doing more than enough, and we're trying our best, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure. It was, you know, it's never nice to make these videos, but you know, I hope you can do something with the feedback, and you know, just come back stronger next time.
Absolutely.
And also for a lot of people, you know, if you need help or you're not really sure, just ask in Discord and ask people for advice, what they think you can change, and don't take it as criticism, especially not if you ask for it. You know, but listen to what other people say, because there's a lot of experienced people in Discord and really, really good builders, and so just, you know, let them help you out.
Right,
and,
like there's a saying that a lot of people don't like unsolicited advice, but the reason if you post something in Discord, you're basically asking for advice at that point.
Yeah,
it's solicited at that point. So I mean, if you're posting your work just to get a big bunch of compliments, that might not always be the case. There's 4,000 people in Discord now. It's a huge community. Some people are going to give pointers that you disagree with. Some people are going to give pointers that you think are actually helpful. And then there are legends, masters, and all that. You can see what their ranks are. So if a new beginner gives you some feedback, they might be coming at it from a different angle, that pointing out something you didn't notice, and it might be really good. But then someone might be just very inexperienced with the game and be giving you feedback that's not applicable. But when you see some feedback from a legend or a master, you kind of know that they've been through the ropes. So we have 4,000 people in the Discord, and you can kind of pick and choose which feedbacks you want. But when you post an image, somebody's going to say something. So it's up to you to sift through that and post your images so that you can get feedback. And that's going to help you improve along the way.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for us in today's video. That was 30-something creations, 33, I think. Now we're going to be moving on to the advanced builder bracket. So go check out the builder bracket. If you didn't vote yet, go vote. That was quite a doozy of a bracket, almost as large as some previous contests. I think the builder bracket for this contest alone was more submissions than the exploration coaster contest. It's insane. So we're about halfway through, ladies and gentlemen. There's still plenty more, and we're moving on to advanced, experts, masters, and legends. And they're going to start going through a little bit faster because obviously there's a lot less. So enjoy the rest of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. We are done with the qualifier videos, and so the rest are being featured at this point on out. There will be no more qualifier videos. Okay, well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who participated in the contest, and hopefully this little video helped you out there, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.
Bye now.